We are talking about rotations, and we want to draw rotations in the coordinate plane. And our example 2 says rotate the following points. So to start with, we want to graph point A, which is going to be 3, -2. So we go over 3, and then we go down 2. So that's going to be A, or our pre-image. And then it says we want to do a rotation of 90 degrees counterclockwise. So 90 degrees counterclockwise is going to be in this direction. And because it's only 90 degrees, we're just going to move from the fourth quadrant back into the first quadrant. So how did we get to A? Over 3, right 2. So now we're going to go up 3, right 2. And that's going to be A prime. The next one we have is B. And B is -5, 4. I guess I should write down the coordinates of A prime first. So A prime, the coordinates are 2, 3. So B prime, or excuse me, B is -5, 4. So -5, then up 4. And that's going to be B. And it wants a 180 degrees counterclockwise. 180 counterclockwise is the same as 180 degrees clockwise. But whenever that happens, I always just use the coordinate rule where we just take the values and make them negative. So B prime is going to be, because the X is negative, we're just going to be positive, and because the Y is positive, it's going to become negative. And then we can just plot that point as 5, -4. So 5, -4. And that's going to be B prime. The next one we have is C, and C is going to be 3, 2 to start with. So over 3, up 2, and that's going to be C. And it wants 90 degrees clockwise. So 90 degrees clockwise, that's going to be this way. And that's going to move it from the first quadrant to the fourth quadrant. And how did we get there? We went right 2, up, or left 2, so out and then turn left. So now we're going to go out and then turn left. And that's going to be C prime. So the coordinates there are going to be 2, -3. And then we have our last example of point D, which is 1, 4. So over 1, up 4, that's going to be D. And we want a clockwise 270 degrees. So we want to take D and we want to go clockwise 270 degrees clockwise. Now that's going to be 3 quadrant shifts. So 1, 2, 3. That would put it over here in quadrant 2. I don't like doing 270 degrees rotations. So instead of doing that, I do a 90 degree counterclockwise rotation. I think it's just easier to manipulate. So, and you end up in the same quadrant anyway. So we go out 1, turn left, and left 4. So out 1, left 4, and we're right here, and that's going to be D prime. So our new coordinates there become, it's going to be -4, 1. Have example 3. It says use the given points to identify the rule and degree of the rotation that occurred. So point A is 6, 4. So over 6 up 4. And A prime is at 4, -6. That's going to be A prime. So the degree isn't too bad. We went from quadrant 1 and we went 1 quadrant to the right. So that is going to be 90 degrees clockwise. Or because we went 1, 2, 3 quadrants to the left, or 270 degrees counterclockwise. Now, what's the rule? The rule for this one is our y became our x. So we're going to put y right here. And our x became negative, or our new y became negative the old x value. So that was the rule for that one. Next we have our b value, which is -5, -2. And that's going to be our b value. And our new coordinate of 2, -5. So the degree is real easy. We went counterclockwise 90 degrees. Or we could have went 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 quadrants is 270 degrees clockwise. Now, the coordinate rule is -5 is the x is still -5. So our new y value is our old x value. And our new x value is negative the old y value. So we can put negative y there. The next one we have is c. So we have -1, 0. -1, 0 right there. And that's going to be c. And we want to go to 1, 0. That's going to be c prime. All we did was negate. So negate the x, probably negated the y also, just can't tell because it's 0. This is going to be a 180 degree clockwise or 180 degrees counterclockwise. Those will both get you to the same location. And so whenever we have 180 degrees, basically it's just negative the x and negative the y. So negative y. And then our last example for point D is at 2, 3. So 2, 3. And we want to get to -2, -3. That's going to be D prime. And there's 2 ways to tell. Negative x, negative y, that should automatically tell us it's 180 degrees, or 2 quadrants, 1, 2. So 90, 180, 270, 360. So that's going to be negative x, negative y, or we could do 180 degrees clockwise and 180 degrees counterclockwise. So any of those will work.